You tuned in to Just Vlog with Melody. President Ibrahim Traore recently spoke out about the educational system, and I completely agree with everything he had to say. Our kids are being taught everything but the necessities of what they need to navigate life. I'm talking skills. And this is something that our educational system is lacking. Sure, math, reading and writing, and all that other good stuff is very necessary, but we need skills, real life skills that we are going to be able to use and apply to life to make us some money. Because when it's all said and done, and when we graduate, it doesn't matter how much math you know. It doesn't matter that you got an A in science. What is going to matter is what kind of skill do you possess? How can you make money when you have nothing else to turn to? This is something that we continuously fail to teach our kids. And it's about time that we start changing that one school at a time. We're getting into this story right now. I remember growing up in school, sitting in class. First of all, not only did we have to get up at the crack of dawn, and I always wondered, what is the purpose? What is the concept? I used to get so upset because I'm like, at 6 a.m., my brain is not even functioning yet. Even if I tried, I would go to sleep as early as I could. It's like nothing I did prepared me for waking up so early in the morning. And it used to agitate my soul. So I feel like, for starters, everyone has their time when their body wakes up. Not everyone is a morning person, and likewise, not everybody is a night person. I don't know, maybe it's just me, and my daughter laughed when I said this, but I said, why don't they have night school? They have day school. We get up at the crack of dawn to go to school, but why don't they have night school for the ones that cannot wake up that early, that don't function that early? What about them? It's like they find themselves just sitting in school and not really learning anything until probably after lunchtime. That's when their brain starts to wake up and they start to grasp the concept of what they're learning. But what about all the subjects that they've taken up until that point? It's like all of those subjects went over their head. Why? Because their brains were not up. It wasn't functioning. It wasn't ready to start learning. So how can you force the brain to do what it is not ready to do? That's like trying to force a 3-month-old baby to walk. Another thing that really irritated my soul being in school was the fact that we learned so many subjects that to me was pointless. Because I'm like, why am I sitting here learning U.S. history? Like, I really didn't care to learn U.S. history in school, and I felt like it was a huge waste of my time. If I was gonna learn something like that, let me learn it on my own accord. I don't need to sit in a class for 45 minutes out of my day learning about something that I have no interest in. And I felt this being an issue time and time again, sitting in subject after subject, learning things that I had no desire to learn. President Ibrahim Traore recently spoke out about this very topic, learning unnecessary knowledge. Let's hear from him.
There are many things we are able to do. But I tell myself, all of this is the effect of colonization. Our minds were somehow blocked, and we were told that we should consume. But no, we need to create, and you have to believe in yourself. If we don't believe in ourselves, we can't succeed. And that's the purpose of our ongoing communication. Young people need to believe in themselves. Each and every one of us needs to believe in ourselves. And it is possible. Today, we are picking out some talents here and there, inventors and so on. We are waiting to set up, as I mentioned last time, a center that will serve as an incubator so that, yes, we receive vocational training, but we also provide hands-on practice. And we need to create many things ourselves right here. There is no reason why not.
It is imperative that our kids start learning skill. What I did love about school, and this is something that I really appreciated, and I'm so upset that they took it away, but I really enjoyed wood workshop. I really enjoyed art class. I really enjoyed home ec class where I was being taught how to cook. I also learned how to sew. And I always wanted to be a mom, so I love the parenting course that they offered where you get to take the baby home and it wakes you up all night so you can get an idea of what it means to be a teen mom. Not only did that spare me from becoming a teen mom, but it also taught me how to take care of a newborn child so that when I was eventually ready to become a mom, I already have some of those skills. It's courses like this that are very important and vital to our survival. And in America, this has completely been taken away from the educational system. And I can say for the most part, in Ghana too, They have followed suit with teaching our children a bunch of invaluable information. They are wasting the students' time. So by the time they graduate and get out of school, not only have they not learned any hands-on skills, but all of the information that they have learned is basically useless because they can't even find a job in their specified area of study. China is doing their big one. When I say that they are there teaching these kids from a very young age hands-on skills, I mean teaching them how to cook, teaching them how to sew, teaching them how to build. Very important, vital knowledge that is going to be very prudent to growing up in society. And also, we need masons. We need people that know how to cook. We need people who know how to build. We need architects. We need people that know how to develop. It's these talents that we should be bringing out of our kids. We should be setting our kids aside and studying them very well to know what their interests are and pushing them towards those interests. Not involving them in a curriculum that they're going to have no desire to learn. It's a big waste of time. Sure, you may think that you're doing yourself a service by giving your kids the best education and put them in schools that have the best curriculums, so you think, but in all actuality, it's really a waste of time. And not only a waste of time, but here in Ghana, it's a waste of your money because parents here spend a whole lot of money to put their kids through school. All for them to get out and probably not even do what they went to school to do. China gets that children need to start learning from a young age how to use their hands. Let's take a look at this video.
Do you know what Chinese kindergartens are like? While kids in other kindergartens eat, sleep, and play games, kids in this Chinese kindergarten do laundry and cook, learning self-reliance. They have outdoor stoves proportionate to their height, and they make their own meals every day, from washing and chopping vegetables to cooking. They eat their own cooked meals with such gusto you'd think they're licking the plates clean. After eating, they voluntarily clean up and even line up to wash dishes. The principal assigns tasks based on the kids' interests to foster their hands-on skills. They start working right after meals, making baskets or knitting scarves for themselves and even using sewing machines to make clothes. They embroider, weave mats, and even make their beds. They're taught independence from a young age. The older kids can cook a meal from scratch, and the younger ones are adept at kneading dough and making pancakes, making chefs jealous. They even squeeze their own milk and make juice from scratch. From washing and cutting fruit to the final product, they do it all themselves, with teachers offering guidance. After eating and drinking, they get busy with various activities like embroidery, building walls with mud, making puzzles, drawing, and making decorations. The girls can even practice makeup and hairstyling, becoming professional hairstylists upon graduation. They never skip school because there's just too much to do. Some netizens say this is real hands-on education, unlike other kindergartens where teachers worry about kids getting hurt. Here, they face challenges head-on, with special forces-style training, jumping rope while playing basketball, climbing ropes, and building giant Ferris wheels. They learn to ride balance bikes and practice martial arts. There's no crying when dropping kids off, they run straight to class. Fighting over toys? Non-existent. Everyone's too busy with their own tasks to bother with that. This is what childhood memories should be like. If it were your child, would you choose this kind of kindergarten?
After watching that clip, you have to sit and ask yourself, why is it that China gets this? Why is it that China is taking the necessary measures to ensure that their children are learning hands-on skills while we're here teaching our kids history? Why is it that these kids are learning at kindergarten? I said kindergarten, how to cook. But meanwhile, we're busy here in our educational system teaching our kids how to get an A. Exactly how is that going to apply to life and help them to navigate life? Our children need to start learning life skills. Yes, they should be learning math. Of course, you need math to get by in life. You also need to learn how to read. You also need to learn how to write. These are all very important subjects that they are going to need to apply to their lives. They also need to learn how to manage their finances. Why don't we have any courses on how to manage finances, how to write a check, how to use a debit card, how to open a checking account, how to manage a checking and savings account? This is all information that's needed in life that's not being taught in school. So a lot of our children are graduating from the educational system and they're not ready for life. They're not ready for all the demands that life can bring because they have not been prepared. It is also why a lot of our children get out of school and are lost because they have lost themselves in the process of navigating the educational system. They haven't been able to hone their skills, have their skills developed. They haven't been asked, what is it that you want to do? What path do you want to follow? What would you like to be when you grow up? I remember in kindergarten, this is one of the first questions that my teacher asked me coming into kindergarten, and it's something that I will never forget. Who even remembers anything from kindergarten? And that is how important this question has been in my life. My first day in kindergarten, my teacher gave us an assignment, and she said to write down, what do you want to be when you grow up? She then passed paper around the classroom, and we had to answer that question. And it wasn't on the spot. It wasn't like it was an immediate answer, but we had to take a few days to really think about, when we grow up, what do we want to be? I don't know what my response was. It was so long ago, but that question has stuck with me forever. And it's one of the reasons why I could never fit into the educational system. And I was always thinking, like, is it me? Is there something wrong with me? Like, why don't I like school? Why don't I enjoy this? It seems like all of the other kids here are doing their big one, getting good grades, putting in so much effort. And I was just here just feeling like the walking dead. Like, literally, I hated school, okay? The only reason why I did enjoy school at times was because I had friends and I was going to school to socialize. When I graduated from high school, I did not want to go on to college. I'm just gonna be honest. I was done. I was like, this is it for me. I do not like school. I'm not interested in going to college. My grandmother and my mother's wishes were that I did. So eventually I ended up giving in, and a few degrees later, I'm still trying to figure out what do I want to do with my life. But it's so interesting because life has a way of aligning you with your purpose. There are many things that may come into your life that may get you off your purpose, such as school, religion, and so many other external forces. But at the end of the day, life will always have a way of bringing you back into balance and harmony, of bringing you right in the path of your destiny. When thinking about our educational system for our children, we need to start thinking of how can we implement schools that are going to bring hands-on skills, not schools that's just giving our children a bunch of knowledge that they don't need. And a lot of us are so caught up in this. We're so engulfed in this. Oh, you got to graduate. You got to go to school. Make sure you get an A. So hard on our kids that we don't even take the time to understand our children. We need to listen to our children. Yes, I said we need to listen to our children, their hearts and their desires, because they are the only ones who know why they came into the earth. They come here, we all do, knowing what it is that we want to do. But it's life that tries to change the course of our destiny. And it's time we get back to ourselves, starting with our educational system. That's it for today's video. Drop a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on today's topic. If this is your first time here on the channel, let me take this opportunity to say welcome. And please be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. I will see y'all on the next video.